to Central America in May or June or July. Yes, August too, but oh wow. It was a little different experience this time. We spent a little time in the cities, a couple major cities, and
okay.
I think I'd prefer living in a rural village as well.
I bet.
It was interesting. It was rough, but it was interesting. But we did get to see the one house that we've had built so far.
Oh,
And their Mother's Day is actually the 30th, so we're hoping that the 4 windows that are to be installed and one more can of paint will have it complete for the first family to be able to move in by Mother's Day. So
oh, that's fun.
That's exciting to think that that's all happened in about 90 days. And
they're
all, they believe we're really helping them now. And right as we're leaving in our cab, and we came up on the house that's the first one, and there wasn't anybody home. We got out and took a couple pictures of it. And one of the ladies was coming back that direction. She's like, and she said this in English, "I can't wait for when my home's ready." And it was just, oh, wow. I mean, the hope in her eyes and the excitement and the belief that good things are happening for them was really inspiring.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, thanks for asking.
What's the name of your group again that's doing this?
Soul Sparkle is the name of my best friend's business who's spearheading this particular fundraiser, but the collective that's benefiting from it's the Padre Ramos Women's Collective.
Oh, okay.
Hilo is the name of the village.
Okay. Nice. That's fun. How long were you there for?
This time, well, I was 7 days, with 2 of those being travel days. And the next time I go, I think it'll end up being a 4-day, maybe 5. So I just work with the ladies for 2 days and 2 days of travel, because I don't need to do the cities again. And I don't need to do part of the build that's happening the next time. They're going to try to get the foundation laid for the next 9 houses and do a big build with about, I don't know, probably 20 people that we're going to bring in November.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Working with the ladies and getting our Christmas line finished up, and leave the heavy lifting to the people that know better what they're doing.
Nice. It's good stuff.
It really is. It's very rewarding. It was hard work, but it made coming home to complaining about little things a little harder to do, but it keeps it it's good.
Yeah, you got first world problems, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good. Where are you at now?
I'm in Aurora.
Aurora, okay. Well, good. Glad to have you back.
How did last week go? Everybody have a good week?
Yeah, it was good. Natasha joined the group last week.
Oh, fantastic.
For the first time. We were just discussing if she'd show up again. She doesn't seem to be much of a morning person. So I think the 6 a.m. call, she's in what, Portland or Washington or something up that way?
Yeah, she's on Pacific Standard Time like me.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, so the things that she discussed, I think are almost, and this is something we can discuss today, because we were going to use it more as a planning session.
Okay.
I was kind of curious if Natasha was shown up or not. I don't know. I think this time isn't good for her. I mean, I've got some, excuse me.
Oh, gee. Oh, I am hungry for breakfast.
I suddenly turned into an alien. Sorry about that. Talk like this for the rest of the meeting. I'm Pee Wee Herman. Anyway.
Pee Wee Herman. Wow.
I got some old school references, baby. Sorry. Because Matt, when we had Natasha on, she was talking about putting together the group presentations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got kind of the thing that I'm wondering is, I like this format, and is that a separate call, or do we want to use this call time to do that, or find a better time that works for Natasha? So, if a 6 a.m. call on a Saturday is not working for her, I mean, I'd be willing to, maybe we can do a lunch call, and I can just, because I can take off of lunch and do that. I just to kind of catch you up, Joanna. I mean, what she was talking about was really putting a structure together for the group training that we talked about, and us kind of working through that, because that was our ultimate goal. Really, was to use the keynote speeches to get us to a point where we're doing these kind of these regional events, and just start to get them moving. So, you know, I like the format here because it gives us our playground. Even though, Matt, you were saying, look, I don't have anything coming up, but I think this is, you know, one of the things that I like about this group is that this gives us an opportunity to work on these things. So I'd like to kind of keep I'm open, put it that way. I'm open, but my instincts are saying I'd like to keep this format and add more people who are committed to coming to it.
In addition to the other.
And then having a separate one where it's us working together towards our regional event. I mean, Natasha has a nice setup. You know, it's kind of exactly what I did for my group. You know, I put together an Excel file. Okay, you got 15 minutes. Here's the key pieces to it. You know, She's broken out a little more than I did. You know, she says, you know, key points, setup, you know, she's kind of doing I think she has more access to what Jack's timetable looks like when he does a presentation. So she's kind of put that piece together. So put it this way, I'm open to whichever way we want to go. If we want to keep this format for us to work on our, you know, speeches in 15 minutes, or maybe we negotiate for a longer, you know, say, hey, I want to do the 45-minute presentation. I'm going to do everything but activities, you know, or whatever that piece is. I'm going to set them up, you know, we'll do them, or whatever that piece is. Or we can work towards that idea of us co-presenting and then putting the regional events on. So I'm open to whichever way we want to go. And I don't think it has to be either or. It might be yes and, you know, another kind of thing. So,
because I can see the need for two needs to be filled, and if we still want a practice space, the strategy meeting doesn't always fit into that, especially when we add more people. So I see the need to do both, and if the other is maybe not even necessarily a weekly but a bi-weekly, if we're trying to plan an event, and if we all have specific roles, responsibilities within that, if somebody, like, midday is tricky for me because I never exactly know when I'm going to be able to break. I mean, I can attempt, but I don't schedule any other midday meetings because it's a little harder for me to control my day once I get started with clients. But I think you're onto something about needing additional time.
Okay.
My charger, I'm not leaving the call, but I'm going to spare you guys the house tour.
Oh no, please take us around.
Yeah. Let me see your backyard. You know, I guess I'm good at this point, leaving this one kind of open for now. If we add more members, then I think we should probably specify point of the group. But like I said, since it's just us three and maybe Natasha on the side, we can, like you said, we can kind of do what we want. I guess what we should decide is, I don't know, clarity. You know, it's like, what do we want to do here? Do we want to put emphasis on doing a regional event? Do we want to try to put emphasis on building this into a paid call, like you said? You know, I think that'll answer the question for us. What do we really want to get? What do we want to do?
Yeah.
So if it's just us, you know, obviously it's kind of nice that we can do whatever we need to. But the reason I kind of brought it up last week about doing the regional event, because I didn't have anything and you didn't have anything, and it's like that would give us something specific to work on, that this format then would work. You know what I mean? It's like, Chris, you got the opening 7 minutes, and then we're going to switch over to Joanna for, you know, responsibility for 9 minutes, and then we're going to, you know, something like that. But then this format, then we can say, okay, Chris, you're going to start today, and then Joanna's going to go, and then we might even be able to get one more in, because if we're just doing like these little 7-9 minute, you know what I mean? So if we're working on the regional, this would also give us a chance to practice and do it in front of other people and get some feedback on what we prepared. Mm-hmm. And then if for some reason we're still pushing and we get some other members to work on their stuff, I think we could still work on ours with those other new members, but then we would probably need a second call or something for the people going to do the regional event. But until then.
All right. Well,
I personally like the idea of like trying to do the regional event. I think that kind of sounds fun. The only thing about rushing into it or having it ready in 60 days or something, even if everyone's willing to fly or go somewhere, it's kind of like though what's going to be the next step for the audience members. I don't think any one of us has a whole lot planned. Like, do you want to offer a 6-week program? Like, hey, Chris has a program for this, and I don't know, Natasha might have a little something that she has prepared based on what she emailed to us, but it's kind of like, what would the half-day workshop that we all collaborate to do, what would be the end goal of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what are our, kind of, okay, we got you to a half-day event. What's my next step?
Right.
I loved it. Let me know when your next half-day, when your next regional event is. Great,
yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
We can talk again later. So I think that's a good point. Maybe that's a lot of we should talk about. What is, and it might be different for each of us, is what do we ultimately want to get, what do we want to move people towards in these events? There's also the frame of mind of like, just get up and do it.
Right.
And then be like, okay, well, thank you. Then you have a list of people and you go, thank you for coming to my event. And then we can reach out individually to people in the area. So it's, I love the idea of having a master plan and it all figured out, but sometimes you just gotta, my wife's working on reading this book about startup companies. And it says, you can plan and put all together the master things and have this strategic scheduling, which is what she's used to in big companies. So that does not work for a startup. You have to put out your minimum viable product. What is your product? That's your minimum viable product, and then grow it from there. Because when you wait, somebody else comes in and captures that market. So I think, look, we work towards the regional event, and as we're working towards the regional event, we go, okay, so what are we going to do afterwards?
Yeah.
What's the tie into the next piece, right? So I think it's important to keep the eye on it, but not get so hung up that we have to know every single step of the journey already.
I would agree with that, but it's I don't know, maybe you guys are thinking something different. In my mind, if we say we all go to LA or Portland or wherever, I'm assuming Albuquerque is not going to be our first stop, but we don't really have, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. We don't have a name like Jack Canfield to draw in large crowds and with large money. I kind of feel like it might be lower ticket prices or something to get people in. I don't know if we, go that your football player friend route or someone trying to get a name. But then it's kind of more of an introduction to us. You know what I mean? I feel like in some ways it's kind of like it's our big elevator pitch time to say, hey, we're gonna help get your life turned around. Start living your life with passion. You can go after your dreams. It's okay. This is the principles we teach. And then it's kind of like, we can get more in depth on this because we have this 6-week program you can sign up for afterwards. And I'm only bringing that up. I think we could put it together fairly quickly. Like I said, I'm learning how to probably do that with Xander over the next couple of weeks. I'm really liking the idea of doing a personal coaching thing like he's doing it. It's really kind of hands off. It's a lot of prep work to do videos and presentations on an online module. And one thing I thought too that could like spread the work around is like, what if we did something like that, but it's all of us? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be an individual me doing it, and then Joanna has her own. Because that's the other thing too, is like after we do our presentation, our group thing, and say Natasha's there and there's 4 of us, it's kind of like, okay, we each have our own individual plans. So if you want to go on, you can pick one. Maybe we could do something where we all do the work and we make one online module and we can direct people there, and then we can all take turns with like one-on-one calls with the clients and, just walk them through basically the same material. So basically, week 1 might be me introducing, okay, we're going to talk about mindset and self-talk and where are you at with that? And then, you got all this work to do for week 1, but then when they log on for week 2, Chris, you go, and then, maybe then Joanna, and then maybe there's a one-on-one call with me during week 1 and you week 2, Joanna week 3, or however it works, just to keep them engaged. But I think we could put something together like that quickly, because we got the success principles.
All right, just to what I'm saying, what you're saying exactly. So I like this idea. So this is the piece of the live event. You have a website or 8-week tutorial. Let's say it's like, look, you came to our live event. Now, you've heard these things. If you're interested, we have an 8-week course. Included in the 8-week course is video content, homework, and a one-hour call with one of our presenters.
Yep.
And maybe you just have people pick, like, look, my favorite was Joanna because she's got the funky earrings. And you say, look, this is we just gauge how it's going, and we say, okay, or we just set up. So your first week's call, we want you to hear different voices. So your first week's call, you get to pick, and then the next week call is with Joanna or Matthew and these kind of things, and then see how people are responding to what we're doing, I think. And then the other piece, because I'm looking for stuff that's not going to cost us a ton of money to put together.
Right.
The other part is to have just a Facebook community. Welcome to our group. What are you doing? How are you doing? And then, each week, we have some content we're putting out there. I mean, I'm not a big Facebook person, but I understand, people put those groups together and they go out there and it's their virtual community.
Yeah.
They would have
once they've already connected on some other platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it's building a community, having something that touches with them in a regular event, like a course. Let's call it a course, our Success Fit Principles course, or whatever we're going to name it. And then some one-on-one coaching that's a part of it. And then it doesn't put too much of a burden on any one of us, and if, quite honestly, if people are paying $8,000, then we can start, hey, and there's 100 people on it. That's an easy thing to divvy up.
Right.
Idea of going about it with how to monetize it, because the event itself isn't always the money maker, especially if we have to have a paid venue. So I like the idea of going at this with the end in mind of it, monetizing, which I know that's why we're doing this why we even wanted to do this initially, was find a way to make money doing what we like to do. So
yeah. So here's the idea. I think what I'm thinking of now that we're talking about it is, let's get the video content together.
Okay.
But if that's what the lead in is, do that, and it's going to help us in the principles. What are the ones that we want to do that's that in an event, and have that live, that personal piece to it. And maybe we can go through those. Maybe that's what we should be doing, is really working on this as a video series. So now, to your point, Matthew, we were talking about, like, I don't have a personal gig set up. And you go, you do now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
We got 8 weeks of content to put together, mother.
That's right. That's right. And like the model I'm watching, and it's not even a video of him. It's more of a screenshot of his computer with audio, and then some slides, or some words to back up, or things like that. Because really, I think what's happening is you're getting a little more specific and really dialing it down. It's not just, oh, take responsibility for your life and quit complaining. It's really like, let's get specific. What do you mean? This is kind of a time too where our stories come in or whatever. You want to pinpoint specific things, or you make them do, and then you have a little homework. But then you can have, like, say, 3 to 5, 6 modules per week, and they can be just little, anywhere from 5 minutes to 20-minute clips. Like, watch module 1. This will be the intro to week 1. Here's what we're doing, right? We have an intro, and then we get into probably, like, I think mindset in some way is good to start. Give people saying self-talk, and then you kind of start just going from there. So I don't know if that's certain software or anything we need. I don't know how to really record your screen like that. Some of that I need to learn. I don't know if you guys know how to do stuff like that.
You can do it on Zoom.
Okay. Oh yeah. So like he's.
Yeah, you can do it right on Zoom. So I think. Look, we can find that out.
Yeah.
We can find out. I mean, Zoom may not be the best platform to do it, but we get recordings off of this that are viable recordings off of it. And that's the nice thing about doing a video series, because quite honestly, if you have technical difficulties, you can do it again.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay, that one did not record as well. Maybe, just maybe, I consider what's in my background as opposed to a fan over my head.
We're keeping the fans, man.
We're keeping this real, people.
We're holding my iPhone still for 40 minutes while we finish this call because my cord isn't long enough to reach the top of my desk.
Oh, Joanne.
I see Joanne. She's thing, and I'm taking full responsibility for.
Yeah, right.
No. I definitely can rally better than this.
Yeah. Well, so look, why don't we just get started on it? I mean, there's no problem in putting. There's no downside, not problem. I should say. There's all upside. I'm trying to get my wording right. It's all upside on creating the video series. 1, we get the practice. 2, we have some content, and maybe there's ways to edit. I don't know all that stuff yet, but we can either get someone or learn it ourselves. Is the video content. Look, hey guys, I'm working on my 8-week course here, talking about responsibility. Love to get your feedback. And you send out a 2-minute teaser or whatever that is, or that little story. Let's get feedback on my story.
Well, in the Train the Trainer Facebook page, Train the Trainer online, I mean, that's one question. I bet we get 20 good answers on formats and platforms that have worked for others. So, I mean, we've got access to all that information that people probably, I know people have already done what we're talking about. So,
yeah, we just have to learn a new skill here or something. So,
yep.
I guess my question is that's one option. I don't know what else we could do other than write another book, write a little ebook. I don't know. Like I said, I thought that might be the easiest thing to do. There's gonna be a lot of legwork, but once it's done, we're looking at maybe an hour or 2 a week commitment to that. Mm-hmm. And especially if we're splitting it between 3 or 4 people. So that's why I kind of like that idea. And then the only thing I would encourage you guys to think about is kind of like, what's the end goal though for signing up with the program? Obviously, you don't make any guarantees because it all depends on what the person, the effort they're going to put in, but like kind of what's the end goal? A lot of times people online, Joanne, I know you've probably seen them on Facebook. It's like, learn to have an online, business. A lot of it's about making money online. Learn how to do this and make money and blah, blah, blah. And I don't think we're going to do that. But what could be like, is it just double your results, double your time off, more work-life balance? We'll give you the blueprint to success. And then, if you want to go, say, make money, you might have to go invest something else with someone else specifically, or, You know what I mean? Why sign up for our 8-week course?
Yeah, you're looking for the what's going to be our marketing arm.
Yeah,
right?
what's the benefit?
I'll tell you the first thing. I have no idea. Marketing is not my thing. It's just, I've never had to particularly do it. I'm just great at what I do, and people hire me. So my tendency is to fall back is if we have killer content and we get it out there, people tell you about it. So what is people getting out of it? I think right now where the need is are you feeling frustrated? We have a way to live your life, to move from frustration to move to a life of passion and purpose, right? Are you feeling like you're not achieving what you need to achieve or want to achieve or making the impact or not having the balance of life you want? Well, we have a way to do that. I think if we're going to tap into anything right now, if you look at it, it is people are frustrated. So how do we move all the people from their point of frustration to a point of not being frustrated? And that's what we're good at. Because look, if you look at what's happened with the Tea Party, if you look at all the people that are marching, here's what the tap into. Now, the wordsmithing of this idea, I don't know. I'm open to whatever it is. But people are mobilized. But I don't know if they have a purpose in it.
Right.
I am upset. Donald Trump is grabbing women by their crotches.
I was waiting to hear what you were going to say.
The liberals are trying to socialize our world. Everybody's frustrated, and they're not learning to be open and listen. So how do you tap in to a broad piece of frustration or that kind of piece? The part that people are missing is the not bitching about it and doing something. Now, I don't know if that's stop bitching about it and do something is our tagline. What I'm saying is that's what it is. What is Matt, when we talked about, you said your thing is, man, I feel like I'm not achieving what I need to achieve, or I'm not doing what I want to do, I don't have my balance of life. Everybody I talk to, they don't have, they're like, oh gosh, I just don't have enough time. So let's tap into the frustration and the feeling like, do you want a better balance of life? Are you feeling like, gosh, I'm pulled in so many directions and I don't know how to get anything. I just feel so frustrated because I'm not getting things done. Well, we have a solution for you. So we have a pathway where you can achieve a better balance of life, more income, better relationships, passion, and purpose in what you're doing in your life. If you're interested, join our 8-week course. And you know what? If nobody buys it, then we try a different marketing strategy.
Yeah, that's true too.
The whole idea behind the 8-week course, at least how we started this conversation, was get them to an event, and we've got something to offer at the quote unquote back of the room so that we can monetize that effort. And there's, feel like there's video content from that event that can be also, if you've attended, here's the free download to watch this again. So I think we're talking about two different things. What's our mission in the overall offering of a regional event? And then the secondary is the 8-week follow-up course. But, if you guys have seen these, or if you haven't, go look for them. There's a ton of stuff out there that people are downloading for $99, $129, $79. That is basically our call right now recorded. I'm serious. And I know that we all have a higher standard of what that should look like based on our own professional standards and what we've experienced from working with Jack's organization. So I'm not worried about that too much, but I think the key, but then as this has evolved, it's also thought, every time I teach a class, I have people in other states say, is it a webinar? Can I dial into it? Can you record it? Because people that can't get to wherever it is that I'm teaching. So I know we started talking about two different things, but I can see this being something that, for $29, you can download the event, and then they can also accept the offering of the 8-week course. So I think video and capturing all this effort is part of the bigger picture as well. Mm-hmm. And I think if we had, you were saying, Matt, a name or some extremely not an unusual angle, but how do we get people that we know to fly into Portland or fly to LA, or are we looking to just pick a community that we know and bring enough people? We kind of have two paths going here is really what I was trying to point out.
Yeah, I do, but here's what I think. This is what my gut tells me, and is that if we build it, they will come. I'm sorry, that's what came in my mind. No, but the idea is look, if we have great content, that's the piece.
Okay.
Like if we have great content, whether it's in the video, whether it's in a live event, and I see them as they're recursive. People who are in the video want to say, hey, I want to see them live. People who are live go, hey, I want to go in this one. And it's a potential of them coming back. So chicken, egg, which one do we lead to first? I don't know. What I would think is working on the video content, like you said, go look, download, look, we can give some of it away for give the first lesson away for free and see what people say. Give us feedback on it. Or say, look, we just put together a killer thing on taking responsibility, and it's only $9.99. Take an hour. People go, whoa, for $9.99, what the hell? I'll give it a try. I like Chris. I like Joanna. I like Matt. Let me check it out. Right? Get some feedback on it. Go, well, if you like that, sign up for our video series. It's only 8 weeks long, and it's only $2.99. Think about that. You're getting 8 times a month for just double the price. So I just think, look, we all have our own unique voices. We have things to bring to this space. Nail the content, and the rest of it, in my opinion, we either outsource or will take care of itself. That's, and I love Matt. I love the fact that you're like, so what are we doing? I don't know. I know I want to help people. What exactly that tagline is, let's just try something, have some content to put together. The one that's easiest for us to do as a group is a video.
I agree.
Is the video?
Is this. If we get people to buy into a video series with us speaking, then it can lead into the regional event. I can also say for me, look, I know a lot of people, and people like to come see me perform. And this might be a way for me to transition them into something a little more serious, right? And say, look, guys, not only do I do stand-up comedy, and I appreciate your support for this, but tonight, or this weekend, I'm putting on a half-day event with some tremendous people, and we're going to give some great content, help you develop your balance of life, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You're gonna say to yourself, man, I have never had so much fun learning stuff that I needed to learn. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do that with I've never had so much fun learning stuff I need to learn.
Where are you performing?
So what I would say is, if we're looking for a first place to do it, I'm willing to take that on and say and promote it and put the time and say, I will find a venue. I will do the pieces and put it together. The question is what is our content? What are we doing? And let's put it together. So let's use this venue here. If you guys are up for it, and I have no idea, is it going to be a windfall profit? No idea. Is it going to be something that gets us up and doing it? Sure as hell is. It could be 30. It could be 300 people. The last facility I worked at had 5,000 people in it. I trained all the engineers, and I probably only trained 150 people. In Temecula, I trained 1,500 people to the software. People know what I do, and if I started marketing it aggressively and saying, look, this is what I'm doing, and it's only $100. I got space for 300 people. You in or you out? Hey, guys, I got 30 people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it. Thinking about it, I think when we... I like it. The more I think about it, too, I think when we all come together, if we're all going to do a show in beautiful Albuquerque, that should be like a 1 to 2 day workshop that costs a lot of money. Because then you get hands-on with us. You'll get to see, all that. And I like that. What we could do, like you said, is, Joanna, you probably have an audience with realtors that you could put together a little cheap or free speaking engagement that's 40 minutes long that introduces this type of stuff, and then you can direct them to the website. I could do my own event here on my own type of thing. And then, if Natasha or whoever else might be involved, and they can do one in their area too. So that could be a way to build it up too, is just do your own little, like you said, local marketing, trying to get as many people as you can personally to start headed towards the website for the program. And then, once you got them all in too, then that's a good audience to say, hey, 4 times a year, we're going to be doing a live event or something. It's 2 days or whatever over a weekend. And
well, and the one that costs money, I tell you, the way to do it is, if we're going to have people fly in and they pay a chunk of change, is Las Vegas. It's the cheap airfares. There's always places to go. You just pick a time when it's hot, and there isn't the convention of plumber fixture people in town.
Yeah.
And you go and you say, look, you got an opportunity. I mean, or California or wherever Chicago or New York or wherever it's going to be, where people can get to and say they're going to drop out, chunk of change. But that's down the road. In the short term, I know we can do this. Mm-hmm. And I know we can get feedback on what we're doing and say, overall, okay, so maybe fans in the background and maybe the kids and maybe have little things set up so it looks slightly more professional. Or we try that and purposely try to go viral with the woman, like, hello, that guy who had the viral video when the daughter came in, like,
yeah.
That one, and the nanny comes in and drags the kid out. I mean, like all that kind of, those kind of things. It's like, look, we are unique voices in this space. Matthew and I talked about this. It says, look, what Xander doing, what Jack's doing, what Natasha's doing, what all the other people that we saw in all the speakers, they're essentially talking about the same kind of content through their voice. And there are people that are going to want to hear it from us. A unique look into these concepts. Mm-hmm. Nail the content. I really feel this truly, that we're all very, very creative in our own different ways, and we bring different things to the table. And we plus our ideas really, really well. Like, whoa, I really like that one. So
yep.
I would say is let's treat this as, every time we're going to record it, as if we're going to edit it and have it as part of our video content. We have an hour and we say, look, guys, we're going to put this content together for an hour. This is the time that we have. This is the time that we do it. Maybe we do them in half-hour segments, and then we provide feedback and say, I think we really need to reshoot that one. Right? You need to redo that one. Let's do these improvement opportunities, and let's take these improvement opportunities and get that one nailed. Oh, that is pretty darn good. Let's put that one on the shelf. Next week we're working on this. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's great. And if we have a good volume of content, a good editor can do this really well. And especially if we go into the talk, whatever part we're presenting, we know that we need to make the transition smooth or editable. Mm-hmm. A couple of the last few commercials I shot, I did with a professional videographer in LA, and he had me do them. And now these were 30-second commercials, so we got to extend this. He had me do them in 10-second sound bites. So if we did 10-minute sections within the same 30-minute content, then we've got an editable space. So if we have to reshoot something, we're not starting from scratch. We're starting from, okay, go ahead and redo the passion test explanation, or let's reshoot the this and such thing.
I'm sold.
And what?
It lends perfectly. No, it does. It lends perfectly to what we've already been doing. Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay, but what, I'm sorry, I'm just a little confused on, so we're gonna like use this setting to record for what? For the online program or just to create a, well, one-time video thing?
Well, the way I understood it was, look, we do these, they're like 10-minute segments, and we do this for our online content.
Okay, okay. So,
Plus, we could use them however we want.
sure.
Right?
But it'll be this format where you can see all the screens. You know, maybe Chris is sharing his screen for the passion test or something. That's what you mean, though?
Well, I think we get used to it, but we could do it this way.
Okay.
Right? Or you can, if you go into share screen mode, you can hide the people. Like, this is the stuff we can experiment with. Mm-hmm. Like, if you know that the four of us are going to be on this wall here on the side, don't put verbiage in the screen share in that piece. You got to leave that blank if you want to see us talking about it. If you want to put it in the other pieces, you can just do it. And these are the things that I'll have to play with. Is in Zoom, you can do. We can play with this content. I can play with this content as sharing my screen, and then just having yourself. If you're the only one speaking, it's like, here's the content and here's me talking about it. So it's like you're a little you got your head and you're doing your slides over here and your head's up in the corner. So and I don't know if this is the right format. Let me see. I'm trying to, I want to try, what I could do is I could play with this format a little bit, or maybe we could set up a separate call to play with the format. But I think there's a way for, you see how I'm talking now, mm-hmm. and everybody's on the one side of the screen. Mm-hmm. I believe that I can share my screen and have that same thing. I'm actually going to do that right now just so we can see it. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
But
you think then, okay.
So if you look at this, this can be.
Good picture.
So this would be my, hang on, move you down. So we could decide, what's the section that we want to leave our heads in. Like this is our head.
Yeah.
I'll just pick up one of my old PowerPoints here. But I think it's a way to put it together. If I open that up.
Yeah, I like it. Like you said, let's just start. I think that's good. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. So this is the one. Okay. That was the early one. Let's see how it looks. But we figure this piece out. And then, which screen do you guys see?
The Success Principle Workshop template only. I mean, just that slide.
Yeah, presented by nobody.
Do you see the stuff up in the corner now? Do you see yourselves in the corner?
Yeah, mine's off to the side a little bit, yeah.
And show us.
Oh yeah, so I can move the faces around myself though, Chris.
Right.
So we could tell people, make sure the photos are in the top right corner or whatever.
I think I can control that, but just so we can get an idea is, I believe, one, if you said what, if you spoke about what Xander was doing, he was just doing the slides, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah.
I like seeing the people talk. Mm-hmm. And I've experimented with it, which is taking the I'll stop the screen share. Hang on. Back in the gallery view.
Yeah, it's all good.
Look, we can experiment with this format, right? We can experiment with the screen share. And what I did before was you drop out of the screen share and then you're telling your story. Remember, I experimented with that on one of the talks. Look, I'm giving a couple slides, but now I want to talk to you personally like this. I think that's, in my opinion, a little more, pulls you in a little more. Like you have the picture, but then when I'm talking to you like this, I feel like that makes a better connection for people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a way to play with that. And maybe, quite honestly, the simplest way to do it is to do the success principles as if you're on stage without the slides.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking for 10 minutes on this particular point, and then we can edit them into a PowerPoint, like slide, talk, slide. Those are all editable features that we can do.
If I told you guys this, but Brian and I went to see the streaming of TED Talks when it was 3 weeks ago or so.
Oh, cool.
Specifically went with the idea of counting the number of slides they used in a 20-minute presentation. The largest number of slides that were used in that 18 to 20 minutes was Tim Ferriss, and he used 11. Everybody else used 3 or 4, because when there aren't slides and you're focused on the speaker, especially those shorter segments of time, yes, there's important points to hit home. And with this in a downloadable version, we can send them a PDF
Right.
of a workbook. On page 7 of your workbook, this is where we want you to take this note about this item. So I think the effectiveness of us as speakers doesn't need to be distracted or clouded with making sure they've got hard copy content. If we provide it along with the program, we're following along, because that's going to be how we structure our individual talks. I think that we can still use slides, but I think that takes that need to flip back and forth and lose attention and content clarity. But that was really powerful to me to see how effective that communication was multiple times without a lot of visual, because the speakers were so dialed into what they were doing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think the slides are mainly if they can enhance what you're talking about. Because, yeah, if you have too many words and people are sitting there reading and not listening to you talk. So that's a good point. I mean,
it is a different than if you're in a auditorium and you've got 3,000 people and need something for them to look at besides you to bring
right.
versus somebody that's going to be doing this in very much the same scenario that we're all sitting at home in our front of our offices or our computers and dialing into something and taking notes and have our journals out and how user using this product.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I got a bit of the chills. And when I get the chills, I think it's a good idea.
You have pneumonia?
Put it this way. I'm going to go back to what's the minimum viable product?
Mm-hmm.
What's the minimum viable product? Is us speaking about the things that we know.
Okay.
It doesn't require any slides. It doesn't require anything else. All you need to do is make sure you have a background you feel that you're comfortable with. We sit up here and we say, okay, we're going to talk about this, and we have a 10-minute segment, right? I'd like to introduce you, and one of us can introduce Matt, and then we mute ourselves and hide, and he speaks. It's the speaker view.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm going to introduce you, Matt. We get to the point where we mute ourselves. Matt's speaking, and it's this, and you're talking. And then it also lends itself to the format that we spoke about, is we can start working on, like, do your 10-minute and then us unpack it. And we just decide beforehand,
right,
to unpack it.
Right.
Here's what I got. Joanna says, wow, Matt, and it's all the positive. You saved the other feedback. You go, wow, what I really loved when you told us the story about that, I really connected with that. And that's what I'm hoping that you guys get from these talks. And now Joanna's talking a little bit about what Matt says for a minute or two, and maybe I do, and they say, okay, well, I talked to you about clarity. Chris is passionate about taking responsibility. Next up is Chris, and he's going to be talking about this, and we edit those pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And then we say, Joanna, God, I love her. She is about cleaning up the messes and these kind of people. And bam, it's you talking for 10 minutes, and we can decide if we like that format or not. I love the idea of 10-minute segments. And here what we're doing is we're going to do a point, story, point, and then we say, now it's time for homework.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I tell you what.
For homework, go to page 23 in your manual right now and do this. When we come back and when you speak with your coach next week, they're going to ask you for these 3 things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Do that now. Okay.
Awesome. I love it. All right.
A lot. because guiding them to do the work is where a lot of these things fall off.
Yes.
And they listen or they watch the first episode or the first version, and then nobody's calling them. No one has arranged a call with them. They haven't been given a specific task that's manageable. So we're like, okay, I spent $99 on that. That didn't change my world. So good on them. But if we've built that in, there's no reason not to have the follow-up and the effectiveness of that communication.
I like it. I guess we can start thinking about pricing, just put it in the back of your mind. I like the idea, though, of not going too cheap, especially for an 8-week program or 6-week. Everyone does 6 or 8, so we're doing 7. All right, 7-week program. We're going to be unique. But yeah, so keep it in your mind. I'm thinking for that type of program, it's going to be $5,000 or more. Because I heard recently, and I think it was a good point, that when you go low, you get low and you get a certain type of clientele. People who are willing to pay you $49, $99 or something like that, they're not going to put in a lot of work. Somebody who pays more money and they're really wanting to change their life, we're going to have a lot better interaction with those people. We can get all to that later, though. Just throwing that out there. Let's plan then 6, 7, 8 weeks. And how about for next week? Let's all write out a little outline of how we think those weeks should go. You know, like, what do you want to start with week 1 all the way to week 6, 7, or 8? You know, whatever you come up with in your own mind. And then we can compare notes, and then, you know, you might really like the way I did a few weeks, and maybe Joanna, had a couple good weeks, or her layout's better, and then we can nail down the outline, and then we can start picking pieces and preparing for that. What do you think?
I like it, except I'm going to add one thing.
Okay.
We should get down to the speaking. So 2 of us, 10 minutes. And we can do what we'll do is we'll do the hour call in 2 parts.
Okay.
10 minutes, unpack it. This is what I like. This is what I like. Group decision of, hey, do we need to reshoot this idea, or what the improvement opportunity is? Because again, that's the beautiful part about this, is we can do it again. Mm-hmm. And then we talk about the format of, hey, what are we going to do the next 2? So for me, like, Matt, I know what yours is clarity. You always talk about, you always go back to clarity. So what I would say is prepare a 10-minute speech on clarity that you would say would be a really tight 10 minutes for you, that we would put in the video content. We'll do it. Let's do it, and let's get it up and do it, because what I want to do is I want to balance the, hey, let's plan, with the, hey, let's do.
Okay.
There's nothing like doing it. Because that's how we're going to learn the fastest. I can plan the snot out of things. I am really good planner. It's the execution of it that makes it. And like for me, I look at, it goes back to stand-up. Look, man, when I have a show, I am laser focused, Mo. It's like, gotta get it down. I can plan a show all I want in my head. Like, oh, I got those funny bits, that's it. But when it comes down to action, I have to do it. It's a different level. Joanna, you've been off. Would you like to go next week?
Yeah, I can go next week. I'll be in Oklahoma, so I'll have a good background and my own equipment.
All right, so let's do this. Surprise me.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I mean, quite literally, surprise me on what your content is going to be. It's going to be our format. It's 10 minutes. We're going to be thinking about these as being edible pieces that we put together. Here's the format I'd like to experiment with. Is 10 minutes and 1 minute of unpacking from each of us, just to play with it, right? It's always edible out, and say, and thank you for your time. We'll do, because I'd like to see if that's a viable way of doing it, because I really think that's going to be part of it, to get us all, the people who like me, to hear your voice also. Do you know what I mean? Saying like, oh, wow, Matt, you know what I really got out of that was this. And it's like a 1 minute each. Mm-hmm. Let's go back and you'll get the positive feedback, and then maybe the other pieces that we need to do it. And then we can start talking about the overall 8-week course. So if you look at that, or 7, excuse me, we're unique.
7
hours of material. Look, I'm a nerd. I can excel the most. I could put
7 2/3 week.
7 2/3 weeks worth of material.
Well, and Chris, too, just to give some like big picture stuff. And the reason I like the outline, and we will do, I think that's a great point you brought up. But like, week one, whatever it's going to be, just say it's clarity, because that's, my little baby there.
Oh, what a shocker.
But no, I think like, you have a whole week for clarity. So like, I think there could be like, week one, video 1, 10 minutes, whatever it is, a little bit of homework after it. When you're done with the homework, come back, it's time for the next video. There could be, anywhere between 2 to 5 videos for 1 week, or per week, I mean. You know what I mean? So I think, Joanna, as you,
Mr. Man, I like it.
So as you prepare, Joanna, I don't think it's important to say you're going to pick one topic and you got to get it all in 10 minutes. Have the idea that you would have a whole week and multiple videos, so maybe you're just doing one section of 10 minutes. You know what I mean? I want to talk about clarity, so I'm sorry?
We want to leave them wanting more, always. Even if we are complete, we still want to leave them wanting more. So
Sure. Sure, but we're only talking like a 10-minute segment, so I don't think you can get all of clarity and vision and life purpose in 10 minutes. So whatever I pick or do, it doesn't have. What I'm saying is it doesn't have to be all inclusive for the 10 minutes.
Sure.
Because like you said, we can play with it. Maybe one video is going to be 20, depending on the topic and whatever. But I like that we're going to do, and then I would still encourage we're all going to do an outline as well, right? Okay. So we'll do an outline.
I just want to make sure we have action items walking out of here.
Got it.
Matt, Joanna, you're speaking next week.
Yes.
Second action item is us starting putting down an outline. Look, just my 2 cents. I don't know if we need to reinvent the wheel. Jack Canfield's given us the outlines of all the different pieces.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. No, I'm going straight to the book.
Right. Just go to the ones that you're most passionate about. What the ones that resonate with you, and say, look, we got a 7-week course, and say, look, I was working on this and I realized I need 20 minutes. I need 20 minutes to unpack this and get them to the homework. Right. So let's do those. Let's just do that. Get an outline of the things that you like, the things that we like. Here's the way to do it. Put down your 7-week course, my 7-week course, and your 7, and let's see which ones in the Jack Canfield principles, and let's see which are the ones that we all have in common.
There you go. Perfect. And think too, like what kind of homework you think would go well. You could then subcategorize it as much as you want. So I like it, man. Look at us. We got stuff to do.
Right. Well, it kind of answers the thing that you got to, Matt, which was, I don't have anything coming up. Now we do.
Yeah.
Now we always do.
Exactly. Now we always do.
Because Chris, you could prepare yours too, because you'll be going next week. I mean, you know what I mean? You can already be working and okay, I love it. This is great, guys. I love it.
Yeah, and then we can nail them down and say, okay, look, I think the way, you can do it by how it comes together. And I like the idea of us all introducing it like this. Guys, we got together because we were like-minded people. We're all across the country, and we want to help you help you create your balance of life, your passion in life. My name's Chris Neeram. I'm an award-winning trainer and a stand-up comedian. And then Matt does his intro, and then you do your intro. Natasha does her intro, and go, well, we're going to introduce, and maybe that's one of the things we play with as our first thing. Welcome. We celebrate you joining us today. Ba 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 ba. So that's going to be another piece that we put together as part of it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm excited. We've got some marching orders, and now guess what, Matt? You do have speeches coming up on a regular basis now.
I know.
Ready. So if someone calls us and says, "Hey, we need a speaker on Tuesday," none of us will be flipping out.
Right. Right, exactly. No, this is good. Next week, I probably can't go too long. I'm actually flying to St. Louis next Saturday, so but that's all right. We're usually pretty good on time, so.
Yep. All right, so do we? Again, I'm going to end with this. I think we're at our time here, guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate both of you.
I agree.
Look. We started and it was kind of all over, but once we start talking together, boy, I tell you, I feel like we really work together well. And I am excited. I got goosebumps, and that's a good sign for me. That's goosebumps. I got goosebumps. This makes sense to me from what we want to do long term, and it also makes sense to me for what we want to do individually. Here's pieces that you can do, and we can start setting these calls up. Like next week, what I'd like you to do is work on your intro, and the four of us going through an intro and going, hi, or the three of us or whatever, going, look, this is why we're doing this. We celebrate you. You know, that whole thing that Jack Canfield does in the beginning, and them to get to know us individually and say, man, I loved it. Now let's make it look pretty, right? Put on your best. It's, you know, it's 7 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning. People are like, hello, I'm in my pajama bottoms, but I've got my suit and tie on. Hello. And then shoot it and say, look, we've got this. And you put it out and goes, hey guys, because those are kind of things that you can, here's a trick that I'm realizing that people do, or that we could do. Maybe it's not a trick, but it's in that Jack Canfield when he talked about the, if you listen to his audio series where he talks about the chiropractor who says, look, I'm thinking of putting together a chiropractic office in this area. What do you think the hours should be? What do you think my thing should be? So what we could do as a leader is to say, hey guys, we're putting together a 7-week course, right? We're thinking of charging $8,000, $7,000, or this one. What do you think would be? And people go, wow, wow. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great content. Would you take a look at our first clip and tell us what you think? Oh yeah, I really felt pulled in. Oh, fantastic. Would that lead you to do? So you're kind of gripping on people and asking them for help. And I'll tell you right now, the people that we want to attract to us or that are going to buy into us are going to be people who want to help. They want to help us and they want to help themselves.
Yep.
Their mentality. People go, that looks dumb. Great, perfect. I could take you off my list. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for filtering yourself out. You suck. Beautiful. You are not my target audience, right?
Yep.
So there's an idea there. I'm excited. I don't know if we can talk. I'm excited.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So we got our marching orders. So our commitment to each other is, one, to put together our outline for our 7-week course because we're unique. Our 7 3/4 week course.
There you go.
And Joanna, you'll put together a 10-minute speech.
Yep.
And then we'll do our normal unpacking and saying, wow, I really like that. This is where I think I'm putting. But we're not doing slides. It is this. Is that the way we're looking at this? This is our viable product. Is you talking into the camera. Is that our agreement? Is that?
Works for me.
I'm in.
I'm in.
All right. Now everyone go drink. It's Memorial Day. Chris, you too. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. This is great. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
All right. It's good to see you again, Joanne. You're an inspiration. I love the work you're doing, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, cool.
Thanks.
Well,
see you guys next week.
All right.
I don't want to go off the call. I feel so warm and fuzzy. Bye, everyone.
Shave, Chris. Shave.
Bye.
Bye.